But as I said at the top, Battling for Bogey, your new endeavor, Dom. I want to start there because I was really excited when you pitched the idea to me. We kind of shot some ideas back and forth about different directions to take our brand. We wanted to expand a little bit.
Hmm.
As much as we love our foundation being an MMA, we knew that we had other passions and more time that we could spread to other projects. So when you pitched the idea to me, I loved it. And now that it's kind of finally come full circle, and actually episode one's out now, I will have links if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. There will be links in the description to go subscribe to the Battling for Bogey YouTube channel and follow the social medias and whatnot. But Dominic, I just want you to kind of tell the audience, what was sort of the initial, I guess, itch for you to start this type of content, and what even is this type of content and what people can expect?
Yeah, Noah. So the beauty of it, and that's kind of what this is, right? It's a big passion project. We've been in sports ever since we can remember, since we were little, playing
Mm-hmm.
t-ball and soccer, swimming at the Y, whatever the case is. And as we grow older and you go through high school, we go to college, and you know, I even studied sport management and whatnot, and we've just done so many things in that world. It's hard to fully pull yourself out of it. And I'll say for the golf, channel specifically and battling for bogey, the the idea of wanting to record and whatnot, get this on footage is not much different than how you and I felt starting the MMA show, because what did we always say, right? We were always talking about MMA. We always had these grand discussions, these hours and hour long discussions at B Dubs, in the apartment, in the dorms, whatever the case. And we're like, man, we should start a podcast one
Mm-hmm.
day. And it's so similar because you've been there, right? On that golf course, just the funny shit that happens, right? We can curse on this show right now.
Yeah,
Correct me if
yep,
I'm wrong.
yep, of course.
um, all that funny stuff that happens, and just the memories that you create with your buddies, and just having a good time regardless of if you're playing good or not. Which on battling for bogey, you will not see much good golf. Is, yeah, we got a couple good friends that'll give some good shots, but that's just what it was, man. The idea to share our passion, all the fun times we have on the course with the public. And I think that's another thing with golf. I can see that there's, and I've been there, like, not a fear, but just it's a weird sport, right? To not, it's hard to get good at, right? So you don't want to just go out there and suck all the time. So maybe there's just like this barrier that you don't want to play the sport, you don't want to get into all of it. So I feel like our type of content, where we are catering to that below average golfer, right? Someone that's just out there to have a good time. I think more people can see that and just be like, you know what? I don't have to go out and, shoot four under par, or shoot even par, or hit hole in ones, get birdies. I can just go out and have fun. And I hope that's kind of like the biggest thing for me with this channel and with our buddies, is just showing the good times that can be had. And like, hopefully other people will then go on and do the same. I feel like that's kind of where golf is right now. It is becoming more and more for like our generation and
Mhm.
our age. We started out of high school 4 years ago and such. So about that age. And I just feel like many more people can get into the sport. And that's kind of honestly the main thing behind it and how it was birthed into existence.
Yeah, truthfully, golf has never been my game. Dominic knows this. I'm even worse than he is, which,
Yeah,
if you watch episode one of Battling for Bogey, might be saying something.
exactly.
No, I'm just kidding. But um, when I look back at kind of really just golf in general, back in high school, middle school, golf was always viewed as like a retired man's game, like an old
Hmm.
person sport, like a boring sport to watch. I never even gave a shit. Like, yeah, Tiger Woods was cool, but it was like Phil Mickelson, who the fuck cares? But as I think really sort of we got toward the tail end of our time in college, I started to notice more and more groups popping up on YouTube and whatnot that were making the game more fun and more
Hmm.
digestible for a younger audience. Foreplay that Barstool has, good. Bob Does Sports is
Hmm.
probably the one I like the most. Dominic actually showed me them. So Those guys are all, pretty good at golf, but
Hmm.
they've created content that's made it a little bit more digestible for a younger audience. What I like about what Battling for Bogey, the direction you're sort of taking it, is it very much falls in line with your entire direction with the MMA podcast from the beginning. Like you said, taking something that you're already doing, you're already spending a lot of time talking about with the friends, that you're doing it with.
Hmm.
You're basically just putting a camera there to
Hmm.
capture those moments. The few times I've been golfing, I always think of the moment where you're driving the
Oh,
cart.
oh no, it's an all timer. It's an
Our
all
friend
timer.
JP, who's featured in episode 1 of Battling for Bogey, he well, actually, can you retell the story because I think I'm forgetting sparse details here.
So I'll try and get it as right as I can because I kid you not, every time I hear it, I say it's a top three funniest moment of my life. Me and Jordan, aka JP, aka Peasy, as he's introduced in video number one. Me and him are in the same golf cart, right? And we're on a par three out at our home course, which is where the first video takes place. And I I don't know if I kind of just whipped the cart a little too quick, or JP went to like pick up a ball or something. I forget why he was already kind of on edge of the seat, right? And I just make one kind of sharp turn, and our boy JP flings out of the golf cart. And dude, this is the funniest part to me, what I witnessed with my own eyes, because I didn't witness the tree, which I'll talk about in a second. What I witnessed with my eyes was that when JP flung out, he tried to like the Flintstones, how they start the car and it's like with their feet. That is what I saw with Jordan trying to keep his balance, and then he just falls over and rolls on the grass. And then I'm looking backward as I'm still driving the golf cart, and I'm just cracking up laughing. And then out of nowhere, skadoosh, I ran right into a tree. I fall onto the floor of the golf cart. The rain cover on the golf cart falls onto the ground. JP pissed his pants. I wish the words could just put into half perspective of how funny that moment was, because I think it was you and I believe Nick Moore, our other buddy,
Mhm.
was the other group, like with you, that you guys got to see all of this from afar. And you're probably just like, what the hell actually just happened over there, Noah?
Getting to watch that full thing from like the view of someone watching a YouTube video
Oh my
is a
God.
priceless memory. Like I
Yeah,
wish we had that recorded
I
so
can't
bad.
imagine if it was. Oh my
And I
gosh.
and I know it's not even doing it justice by like telling the story. Like you really just had to be there because
Yes, you
it was
did.
one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
But that's the kind of shit that happens on a golf course. It's
Yeah.
it's what do they always say? It's guys being dudes, right?
Yeah, you're
I've
right.
seen some funny shit on just a few times I've been out there. I mean, Dominic, I wish we had video of the old man and the course in Bowling Green who fucking was about to rip me a new ass because I was trying to share golf clubs with you. Like things like that, you just don't think about when you're going into something like this.
Yeah.
But boy, is it priceless when you can capture those kind of moments on camera.
Oh, it's great. I mean, a video I'll have to share eventually on the channel is the video you have recorded of me, that same
Oh,
golf trip that you just referenced, Noah. The first time I ever had a chance to get my own par, like it was a par
mm.
four or whatever, and I was going in, I was putting for par, and it's just perfect because I look at Noah and I'm like, you got to record this for me. This is history here. And of course, in the video, I go, I can't miss this. I can't miss it. And I and I missed. What do I do? I missed the putt, and Noah just giggles and immediately shuts the video off. I mean, that is the encapsulation of what battling for bogey is that those types of moments right there.
And like you've said in your kind of trailer you released, like if what you're looking for is like really high level golf and trick shots and all this stuff, not the place for you.
No,
But
not
I
at
think
all.
that's why you guys fit in very seamlessly, is because there isn't a lot of people who would have the confidence to post, these kind of vlogs without the actual like real high level skill. Some people are embarrassed by sort of the lack of a golf game, but I think Dominic, what I like about what you guys are doing is that you're capturing a skill level that the majority of people who watch this kind of content have.
A
So
hundred
even if
percent.
even if like they're afraid to admit it or sort of embarrassed by it. By watching Battling for Bogey, they can kind of see, oh, okay, these are guys that I can really relate to. The kind of conversations you're having on the golf course are the same ones they've probably had with their friends, struggling, that battling for bogey.
Hmm.
And, I think that's just going to capture a greater part of that kind of golf audience that, yes, I'm sure they'll still be interested in some of these other channels and whatnot that do more of the high level stuff, but there's going to be a place for Battling for Bogey, I think, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I think you really did put it perfectly. That is the idea in terms of like the skill set of players. There's only so many great golfers out there, and then there are just a vast majority of the types of skill sets of myself and Jordan, or even our better friends like Jake Branson. He'll be on the channel next week. We're going to play him 2v1 because he's a pretty good golfer, right? But there's just so many different skill levels in golf that even it just feels like there's so many guys, gals out there that play that are around this, and they just need to kind of see it. And again, for people that are new to the game, it's just something that can maybe make them feel more comfortable and wanting to choose to try and just go play golf for fun. I mean, it doesn't all have to be competition, right? We're going to have those, of course, on the channel. But at the end of the day, it's all about just having fun, making memories with your friends. And that's the beauty of it. Now getting to capture it. And, me going through all this footage and doing the editing and whatnot, it just like makes me feel all cozy and warm inside. No, just like that's what we had, and now we have it to kind of see forever, rather than just having those memories to try and put together, like when I crashed into a tree. So it's awesome.
So, Dominic, one more thing about Battling for Bogey before we actually move on to some other stuff I wanted to talk to you about. I want to, I've mentioned, and you've mentioned on this discussion we're having, golf and golf vlogs and for the below average golfer. I think I want to ask you a little bit about long term. I mean, obviously, the day we're recording this is the day you released the very first episode.
Hmm.
So, but I also know that you personally like to have long term goals and short term goals. So, I guess long term, what kind of content should people expect to see on your channel? And maybe where are you wanting to take this long term?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, really, in terms of like the content side of things, right now, we have a lot of things in the bank. We were recording this knowing we were going to debut in the beginning of 2023. So, toward the tail end of the 2022 golf season and weather wise, we started recording. And, that first video that went out today was the first time Jordan and I had ever been on camera when golfing. And it went pretty well, but I've noticed again as I go through this footage, we get better and better. We've
Mhm.
already improved our recording setup, and we will have improved recording equipment the next time we go out as well. We're waiting on the weather in this early 2023 to go record with some new cameras. So, I mean, we've got matches coming out next week. We've got 18 hole scrambles. We've got best ball on a par three. We've got one that is just an absolute disaster, as a matter of fact, on a par three course. That's going to be coming in week three. But yeah, we've got about 8 videos recorded out ahead of time,
Wow.
and then we're going to get recording again for the new stuff once we get through those first 8. And yeah, I mean, we're brainstorming ideas. Noah has shared some ideas. We've talked about like mulligan challenges, reverse mulligan challenges, which is on YouTube. You can see some of those. I've mentioned a little blindfold match. Even there's just a lot of like, while keeping it, um that's the kind of thing with this content, is you have to still respect the course and respect golf and the people around you. And that's one thing that's been great so far, is when we record, we haven't been in a hurry, we haven't been rushed, for the most part, so that's been great. So we're just trying to think of fun things, whether we're trying to beat certain scores, we're trying to take on really good golfers with me and Jordan, which would be a hard challenge, all that. And I'm asking, if you guys have any ideas, whether it be scores to beat or challenges that you want to see, feel free to always let us know. But long term, man, it's just continuing to build this community. The whole entire Below Averagers brand as a in one is just an amazing thing. I'm so excited for what we're doing in 2023 with branching out with 2 new pieces of content, your podcast here and Battling for Bogey, our baby, Born and Bred, the MMA show. It's going to be a fantastic year for us, and I really see a very long-standing future for this brand and the content that we can continue to deliver, bringing more people into our brand to deliver content, and expanding our community of people that love sports and just love being entertained at the end of the day as well. If there's anything that we can do, whether it's providing someone with breaking news they didn't know about, or making them laugh at me shooting a ball into the woods, or Noah's cashing 8-leg parlays on this weekend in sports, any little thing goes a long way. And I'm just excited to continue building this community, man. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's very beautifully said, Dom. I do have one
Mm.
challenge request
Oh
for
boy.
you, and I'm going to put it out there for the world, so that way there might be some pressure put on you. Some would
Okay.
say,
Okay.
um, and I'm putting this out there because I know our good friend Jake Branson is a left-handed golfer, correct?
Yes, he is. This is true.
Yeah, so I think it would be a really good challenge for if the three of you, JP, and Branson, were to be out on the golf course, for Branson to have to putt right-handed and you and JP to have to putt left-handed.
I am instantly in love with this idea, Noah, and it will be added to the list, no doubt.
All
I love
right.
it.
All
I
right. I
love it.
love to hear it. So be on the lookout for that. Dominic, I'm going to have links in the description, but if you want to go ahead right here before we transition, if you want to plug, where they can follow you and Battling for Bogey and where to subscribe, you can go ahead and do so.
Yeah, so like Noah said, the link for the YouTube specifically is going to be on our channel here and stuff. But it's Battling Fore Bogey. It's FORE, as if you're yelling for because you just shanked a golf ball and you might hit somebody. That was kind of the idea behind that. And then on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, it's at the BAJ Golf. We have the Bajma for the MMA show. We have the Baj Golf for
Mhm.
our golf channel there. So feel free to give us a follow, guys. There's a lot of fun stuff coming out, tons of shorts and reels in the middle of the week when we don't have a video going out. And then obviously full course vlogs every Wednesday. So I'm excited, my man. Appreciate the time talking about the new expansion.
Yeah, of course.